Often when you hear about the design process, you may think you should always follow this rigid structure of research, ideation, prototyping, testing, and handoff. But that's not usually how things go. So in this video, I'm sharing 4 realistic aspects of the design process that allows you to keep it adaptable and flexible to the project you're working on. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and let's jump right in. The first thing to keep in mind is that there is no cookie cutter design process. Yes, there are the famous and perfect design processes out there that we see, but there are 2 things you should keep in mind about them. The first one is that you may not have the time, the people, and the overall resources to go through all of those steps. And the second thing is that honestly, none of those steps may be relevant to you, depending on your context. And that's going to take us to aspect number 2. You need to understand your options. So the way I go about this is I like to study the different type of design processes that there are out there and have them as a sort of tool in my toolbox. So whenever I start working on a new project, then I know which one is going to serve me best. And even if you decide to go with one, you can and you definitely should modify it according to your needs. My 2 favorite frameworks to start off with is the design thinking framework and the double diamond. I'm leaving some articles in the description about them. And if you'd like me to come back later and explain them in detail, just let me know in the comments. The third aspect is that you need to get clear on what you'll be doing. I said this a bunch of times and I'm going to say it again. Each problem is unique. So also is going to be the way that you're going to solve it. So when I'm about to start a project and outline the plan that I'll be following, so my design process, I always like to ask myself these 3 things. What problem am I trying to solve? What's the impact of this? And what resources do I have at my disposal to drive impact and reduce costs? And the 4th aspect is that there is no design process alone. You need to bring engineering on board to all the considerations that you take. One thing that I don't like about the way the typical design processes are portrayed out there is that they seem like whenever you hand it over to engineering, your work is done. And engineering is never a part of the process. But as we're designing products that are going to be built through code and not to live on Figma, I find it super important for us to open this discussion with engineering early on. So it's necessary that you understand the tech stack that the team is using, if there are any technical challenges that you should be made aware of, so you can design with those things in mind. Because being truly honest here, we're not only designing to optimize the user experience, but we are also designing to optimize development time and resources. So it's important that you have these understandings. A design process is not this rigid structure that can never be modified or it has to be super sophisticated. It's a plan that you outline to help guide you, but you can and you definitely should adapt it as needed. So be clear on what the problem is, have a clear understanding of the technical aspects of the product you're designing, and create your process around that. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe if you're new here. And before you head out, I suggest you go to that video with my top 3 guiding questions that I use whenever I start a new project. They'll definitely help you define your design process as well. I'll see you there. Happy designing!